In this video, we're going to be taking a look at some hidden secrets in Build-A-Boat for Treasure. A lot of these secrets you may never even knew that they were inside of the game at one point, and some of these are actually kind of creepy. So be sure to stay tuned. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe. And in this video, I went ahead and I added Banana Fortnite to the fan wall. Congratulations, you are on the fan wall. If you guys want to get on the fan wall, comment down below. Let's do your favorite block in Build-A-Boat for Treasure. Out of all the items inside of the game, which one is your favorite? Comment down below. That is the question of the day. And without further ado, let's get straight into all of these secrets, starting off with one of the first ones. So starting things off, we are here on Magenta Team, and originally this used to actually be Orange Team before it turned into Magenta. Now, since it got changed from Orange to Magenta, they actually ended up adding a secret for Orange Team in Build-A-Boat, but they also did remove that secret. But what you had to do is go up to this tree right here and click on this branch, and it would open up a secret door in the wall, and this secret door would reveal an Orange Team memorial that looks something like this. So basically, it was literally like a door in the wall that literally just opened up. It had the Orange Team flag, and it also had a chest that you could claim, and you could actually claim this chest an unlimited amount of times, but it would only give 1 gold each time, so it really wasn't worth it to, get it all the time, but you could claim it multiple times, and it was a cool little Easter egg in honor of Orange Team in Build-A-Boat. Now, the next secret I want to get into is actually kind of creepier, but it was pretty cool. At one point in Build-A-Boat, they actually added Bigfoot to the game. Yes, you guys heard that right. Bigfoot would actually spawn around the map, around the tree building areas. If you got close to Bigfoot, your screen would turn blurry, so you could never really actually see him. You could see like the figure of him, but never actually what exactly he looked like, because it would blur your screen when you get close. But Bigfoot did leave behind a footprint with a code on it that you could actually redeem an item code from it, and it actually gave some pretty good codes. We've had codes from the Bigfoot that gave like portals, cakes, good blocks like that. Now, all those codes are unfortunately all expired, and players haven't spotted Bigfoot for years. Some players still think he's inside of the game. It would probably be an insanely rare chance of encountering him, because to encounter Bigfoot in the first place, I think it was like a 1 in 100 chance of him appearing inside of your server. I don't know the exact odds, but it was super rare to come across first of all, but it was a really cool integration. As you guys can see on the top right here, that's what Bigfoot looked like in the distance. As you guys can see, the screen was super blurry, and you could only see the actual figure of Bigfoot, and on the right hand side, you could actually see what left behind was the footprint with the actual item code on it, that you could then open up your menu and actually redeem this as a free code inside of the game. So it was pretty cool. Now, in the winter, when snow was everywhere, they actually replaced Bigfoot with a Yeti, and that Yeti also had a different set of item codes. All around, it was a very, very cool secret, and that kind of leads me into one of the next secrets, but this one is more of like a myth. And wait, what is the sign right here? The captain had a hidden stash underneath the floorboard in the back room. Whenever he saw a red flag warning at the beach, he grabbed his surfboard. Wait, bro, what is going on? 3 years later, the coffin was still full of jello. Wait, what? My head's hurting. Well, anyway, as I was gonna mention, there's actually another like hidden sighting that players were seeing recently. Like within the past year or two of Build-A-Boat, players have spotted a tall figure in the trees of Build-A-Boat and surrounding the team plots. Now, a lot of you guys may recognize this. This is a tall figure right here, and a lot of players think that this is actually in Build-A-Boat for Treasure, but the truth is, it's really just a creepypasta. But some players think that it is inside of the game. Some players have had sightings of it. Some players have seen it for themselves. Some players have had friends that seen it. Apparently, it like haunts Build-A-Boats. There's a whole story behind it and everything, but at the end of the day, I believe it's just a creepypasta, and nothing more, nothing less. But let me know down below if you guys have seen this figure inside of Build-A-Boat. Apparently, it's only inside of private servers, so I personally don't think it's real, but hey, you never know. Comment down below if you've seen it. And in the next secret that was added to Build-A-Boat multiple times in the RB battle seasons that we've had, I believe there's been 3 RB battle seasons. Every time they've made an amazing Build-A-Boat integration with a cool quest leading up to a boss fight. There's a whole story behind it and everything, and I just want to say this is like one of my most favorite updates that Build-A-Boats ever came out with. Every time they do an update with RB RB battles. It is just so awesome. The secrets, the challenge, the boss fight, everything's good. And rumor has it that RB Battles is starting to work on a new season soon. I believe they just need the funding for it, and they're gonna make it happen. So I'm crossing my fingers that at one point, we're gonna be able to see a new season of RB Battles because it's such an amazing Roblox event. And every time, Build-A-Boat's been a major part of this event, which would be super cool to see it return once again. And shout out to Tipper Games for making this replica of, you know, the actual RB Battles integration here, like our full remake here. Where this is like what it looked like. Not exactly, but it is still a cool like replica build. Also, I'm still wondering why the timer above the portal inside of this game and also, you know, the main Build-A-Boat one, why is it 2050? We're obviously going into the future for something, but I don't know. Maybe the year correlates something with RB Battles that I didn't pick up on. So, as I mentioned, guys, I hope that Build-A-Boat does return with RB Battles in the future, so that way we can finally defeat the computer boss once and for all. But as I did mention, Build-A-Boat has had many updates with RB Battles and some of the best updates that the game's ever had. And this next secret has to do with this stage right here. A lot of you guys may actually recognize this stage. It's the wreckage stage, and it's still inside of Build-A-Boat to this day. When you drive your boat in here, the water clears out, basically empties the stage, and then your boat starts to take damage by these giant rocks. But hidden inside of this stage, at one point in the game, there was a trap door, like a small little square that you could go through that opened up into an entirely different room, which was kind of creepy. Upon entering this room, you fell down inside of this giant like cave system area. As you guys can see, there's a cave right there with some water flowing through it. So there's like a little stream or river flowing through this. We have this giant structure, pyramid type thing. We also have a secret chest in there as well. Like, this was a pretty big area, and the creepiest part about this place, or one of the coolest I should say, was the secret writing on the wall, which at the time we really didn't know exactly what this meant, but it turned out at a later time this was actually for a boss fight that we ended up fighting in Build-A-Boat. That was part of like a whole secret code challenge thing that you had to input inside of a piano. Long story, the writing on the wall was just a secret code for that, but still, this was a pretty cool secret that a lot of players didn't even know that this existed inside of the game, but unfortunately the secret is removed and you can no longer access this area. And speaking about removed parts of stages, there's been a handful of stages removed from Build-A-Boat for Treasure that some of these stages that I'm going to show you, you may have never even known that these stages existed. These are super old, and maybe in the future we could see some of these stages return back to the game in a more modernized version. We've had stages like that happen where they revamped some of the stages, like the farm stage. That one recently got revamped, same with the lighthouse stage. So maybe we could see some of these stages that I'm about to show you revamped and re-added to the game at a future time. Who knows? I think it'd be pretty cool. But take a look at some of these removed stages because some of these were actually pretty cool. For example, we had the shark stage, which was one of my favorites hands down. We had the volcano stage, which was really awesome and very difficult at the time because these like fireballs that shot out of the volcano would like burn down your entire boat. You also had the lava stage, which was also pretty difficult for its time. And also, one of my all-time favorites was the pumpkin boss stage, where they literally like put a full-on boss fight in the middle of a stage. This is one of the hardest Build-A-Boat stages ever, but this is just a handful of many removed stages from Build-A-Boat for Treasure. But as I mentioned, maybe at a later date in the game, we could see some of these old stages return, but more of like a refreshed version. Now, on the team that I'm standing on right now, Black Team had many cool features and secrets hidden within it. A lot of them having to do with the actual Halloween update itself, where if you actually go over to this tree right here, there was like a branch code that you had to input. It opened a secret inside of this wall and led us to beginning the skeleton boss fight, the pumpkin boss fight in the giant pumpkin patch area. Check this out and see for yourself. As you guys may know, Black Team has been around for quite some time in Build-A-Boat. One of the most coolest teams inside of the game, with the skeleton boss being a part of this, where originally what you had to do was, as I mentioned, click on these branches on this specific tree when the Halloween update was out, and it opened this wall up right right here. You walked inside of it and you clicked on this like glass orb, and essentially what it did is it activated the boss fight. On top of that, there was the pumpkin boss fight, which was completely different, but kind of the same, you know, beginning area with the same tree branch code. But this one led you inside of a pumpkin patch, which then led you to the pumpkin boss fight. So there was a lot of cool secrets with Black Team in Build-A-Boat for Treasure. In fact, it'd be really awesome to actually replay some of those boss fights. So who knows, maybe in the future they'll add some more secrets to this team right here, because there was a lot of Halloween secrets that started on this team, and I'd love to replay some of those boss fights inside the future because they were really cool. And this next secret, a lot of players don't actually know about this. Well, it's not really more of a secret. It's more of a fun fact, I should say, where this end treasure right here is not actually the original end treasure that we had in Build-A-Boat. I'm about to show you what it originally looked like when the game first came out, because it looked completely different than it is now. This right here is what the old treasure used to look like. It was a lot more empty. It didn't really have a lot of detail, and it had like these giant sand piles everywhere. There was the flag right here, and of course the end treasure, but it looked a lot more empty than it does now. I personally still like this design a lot better, but it would be cool in the future to see another refreshed end treasure. I feel like that'd be pretty awesome. Who knows? Maybe we could see one of the future, maybe not. Now also, if you want to experience some cool hidden Easter eggs and find secrets on your own, the Build-A-Boat fan game Project Zeg actually has a lot of cool things you can find and discover. Literally walk through waterfalls, look under this tree right here. There's a whole on boss fights, there's secrets, and many different directions inside of this game that I recommend you guys go join and find, because there's cool badges you can collect. There's in fact real Build-A-Boat items you can get from the boss fight itself. You can get a Build-A-Boat plushies and also a gold reward. But there's a lot of cool Easter eggs inside of here that I recommend you guys all go find, because it's pretty fun to find them. Another cool secret about Build-A-Boat that a lot of players may have missed is at one point you could actually play the piano that was inside of the clock tower secret, where, well, originally this was for a boss fight where you had to type in the piano a certain code, but you could literally play this piano, which was pretty cool. And inputting the right code to the piano actually made this giant door appear, which actually led to a boss fight. And that boss fight being one of the coolest bosses that Build-A-Boat's ever had, but unfortunately you can't do this boss fight anymore inside of this area. And you also can't spawn in that door or play the piano anymore, unfortunately, but it was still a cool secret at the time, and a lot of players may have missed that because that was super long ago. But there are still a ton of cool secrets in Build-A-Boat for Treasure that you may have missed out on. So if you guys want a part 2 to this video, I'll get this video to 300 likes, and thank you all so much for watching. And if you made it this far in the video, comment down below wood block. All right, just comment down below wood block, then I'll know you made it all the way through. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out and goodbye.